Okay, good evening, everyone. Today is the 25th of February, 2025. We are on year number 2, week number 8 of the online personal transformation program. I want to welcome you all to today's presentation. We are continuing to examine the central concept of energy conservation in relation to our year number 2 goal of maintaining or sustaining balance across 12 dimensions. Having said that, we are examining energy conservation in detail. And to do so today, we're going to be looking at the quality of energy conservation. As if you remember from our past many recordings, we have talked about the 5 and the 6. The 5 are thought, emotion, memory, desire, energy. And the 6 aspects of each of those are quality, quantity, direction, dimension, depth, and structure, or quantity, quality, direction, dimension, depth, and structure. So last time we talked about the quantity aspect. Today we want to talk about the quality aspect. Just a couple of review points here, then we'll get into this in more detail. So personal energy refers to the vital force or life energy that fuels our physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being. It encompasses the total energy we have available to perform daily tasks, engage in relationships, think critically, and maintain emotional balance. So these are points that we have that should be very clear at this point, what's meant by personal energy. The concept of energy quality, what is that? While the quality of energy is important, while the quantity of energy is important, the quality of personal energy determines how effectively it can be used. High quality energy is clear, focused, vibrant, while low quality energy is scattered, dull, and easily depleted. The quality of personal energy influences productivity, mood, resilience, and overall life satisfaction. Now, this is very interesting because when we use the word quality, that is referring to one's direct experiential interaction in the 12 dimensions, the quality. So the quality of the interaction itself across 12 dimensions with people, places, circumstances, with the jobs, with the recreation, religions, etc. It's one's actual qualitative experience. Now, the quality of energy is what we're looking at in connection to energy conservation. So high quality energy is clear, meaning that our mind, our mental and emotional space is very, very clear. Well, when we use the word clear, it means that the energy flow is occurring in the most wonderful manner, where clarity inside the mind is opening further and further. There is a greater clarity inside. There's not dullness, there isn't weakness, there isn't scattering, none of that. So high quality energy flow would naturally indicate that there is high quality cognition, that there is high quality emotion. Now, again, this is a matter of introspective awareness. So one of the key exercises this week is to recognize and to determine for oneself what is the quality of cognition and emotion in each action we are performing, in each activity across 12 dimensions. So the quality of emotion and cognition is very much dependent upon the quality of energy flow within the mental system. So the energy flow, is it with resistance? Is there friction? Is there some blockage? Resistance, friction, blockage, to detect that and to remove that. Okay, so that's one thing. And if we remove those three, then the quality of the energy flow is much better. In fact, could be at the highest levels. But at the same time, the quantity that is used, that is activated for utilization, may not be as high as needed when there's more resistance. Because the greater the internal resistance, the more energy we dump into the system. The lower the resistance, the less energy is dumped and the higher the quality. So there is a proportion there. So there's a couple of points here to keep in mind. First of all, how much resistance is there in the activity that is being done? We can detect it. And there's levels of resistance from very minimal, or let's say theoretically zero, all the way up to extremely high levels of intrapsychic and interconnected resistance with the outside world. Our goal is to get to a point of zero resistance. But that's theoretical right now. Hardly anybody's ever there. But we want to get there eventually. So as we take steps on an hour-to-hour basis to build the best quality experience based on our preconception that what is the best fantastic quality experience for in the next hour, as we've mentioned before, then the quantity of energy that is needed to build the best quality is reduced. So it's an inverse proportion to some extent at least. The higher the quality, the less the quantity. The higher the quality, meaning, let's say, take a very simple example. We are, let's say, going for a walk in the park with a pet, with a dog. Simple, right? Going for a small walk in the neighborhood, take the dog out for a walk for 20 minutes. Very simple example. The question is, what is the quality of the experience? To make that experience the best quality, because life is in the present, we prepare for it. Maybe have the right clothes, have all the right gear, whatever else we need. Everything we need to have the best quality experience, we prepare for it. So then the resistance inside, worry, tension, agitation, any of those things, if we're carrying around, they also need to be dropped. Then the quality is higher quality. Then the flow of energy is much better because there's no resistance inside. And as a result of that, the amount of energy that is activated is relatively less compared to with resistance, and hence more energy is conserved, and that is the link between quality, quantity, energy conservation, and levels of internal resistance. These are big ideas, and it's not things that we generally talk about, but since we're in year number 2, we are going to get into more significant points of understanding these ideas in more detail. Understanding them clearly is the first step. Application, after the clarity in that understanding, is the next step. Our program is 100% application based. It's all application. And there's going to be the changes. Sometimes we are able to apply, sometimes we fall back down again. It shifts back and forth. The best thing is to set the intention for the next hour. Literally go 1 hour at a time. Of course, keep the broader schedule in mind, keep everything in mind. But what is the right action to perform in the next hour that aligns with the highest quality energy flow to produce the best quality experience of thought and emotion in general experience in that 1 hour? And this is where one recognizes the impediments within the mind and the mind's dullness, its own old conditioned pattern, it's mulling over or staying in an old pattern that is not producing good quality. But there's comfort even in the negative quality, even in the rut. There's a comfort in that same rut. So the further evolution is a matter of not staying in old patterns unnecessarily. If they are needed for some reason, we can activate old patterns. Otherwise, it's not necessary. And it's also good to change day-to-day patterns. Take the going for a walk example with the dog. Sometimes people like to take the same route, and that's fine. That's beautiful. As long as the quality is very good. Because we're going to be thinking while we're walking. So then maybe you're listening to something, or there's some thought or contemplation. So we're always thinking. We're not going to be without thought. But the question is, what are we thinking about? While we're awake, we are thinking. Unless one is very much in a silent state, and then the thoughts are coming that are very, very high quality thoughts, then that's a different matter. But for most people to get to that point is something quite rare. So from where we are, we want to be able to make that which is rare, make it very much real. That the internal agitation completely disappears. That's what we want. That may sound idealistic, but it's not meant to be put in an idealistic manner. It's meant to be put in a very clear manner, that high quality energy is clear. It is focused and it is vibrant. See these 3 points. It's right on this slide. High quality energy is clear. There's a clarity that comes from inside. Lucidity. Very, very crystal clear vision of life circumstances, things where they are, the good kind of interaction, listening carefully, the quantum qualities, all this is coming inside oneself. There is the adequate amount of focus in doing whatever it is that we are trying to do at that time. That focus is the right kind of focus. It is the best quality of focus, and it has very much to do. It has very much to do with our ability to make decisions regarding the actual actions that are to be done in the next hour. See, while we're awake, this is the waking state, we have to perform action. We're going to be walking, we'll be sitting, we'll be typing, we'll be reading, we'll be listening, there's actions of the 5 senses, actions of the body. Nobody in this world can live without performing action. The question is simply, is the energy flow in the actions we are performing, is the energy clear, focused, and vibrant? You can write these words down in your notebooks if you're taking notes. Very simple and very clear to understand. Very easy to understand. We want to get the understanding clear before the application happens, right? So demarcation between high quality energy and low quality energy. The low quality energy is scattered. There's dullness and easily depleted. You see, the quality of personal energy influences productivity, mood, resilience, and overall life satisfaction. Obviously, we know that already. That's not anything new. But when we recognize that there is low quality energy, what do we do then? What is to be done? Well, the first step, when we recognize it, to take steps that is going to change the quality of the experience we are in, and to change it to what we want it to be. And that's a difficult question to answer. That's the quality of desire. So the quantity, quality, direction, dimension, depth, and structure. So the quality of desire, thought, emotion, memory, desire, energy, TEMDE, the quality of desire, that what is the desire that I have? What do I want? What is the experience I want to have? And it goes back to the very complex phenomena of desire. We're going to spend a whole 13-week or more, probably, maybe like 26 weeks just on desire at some point. It's a very difficult and intricate subject to even talk about, to wrap our heads around that. It's a difficult one, but we're going to get into it. For now, for our purposes here, we know that we cannot perform any action without our desires. And we have all kinds of desires, but what is the effect, the result of fulfilling desires? What is the effect or the result of not fulfilling them or partially fulfilling them? Right? Sometimes desires are fulfilled and they create there's a lot of harm in that. Sometimes desires are not fulfilled and one is burning up with desires more because they're not fulfilled. So our goal, most people can understand this, that the desire means lack of fulfillment. Desire means getting to that state of no desire. When there isn't any desire, there isn't any wanting, longing, craving, desire, any of that, then even if the favorite food item is in front of you, you don't have any desire for it. There's a state of satisfaction. Well, one will not go in that direction. So that is one of the most important points to keep in mind about desire. That desire fundamentally means, and you can use other words like craving and wanting and liking and all those things, that I want this. I want. I need. I want. These are desires. There's the I inside the desire, and then there's the energy inside desires. All right. Now, having said all that, desire fundamentally means lack of satisfaction. Take the food example. If I'm very hungry, I'm going to, I want to get to satisfaction through a stimulative experience with the food or drink or whatever it is, whatever the substance is, food and drink, obviously. And it is going to have a qualitative experience behind that. So, for example, if I want a Diet Coke, but I don't want a Diet Sprite, the quality is different. The qualitative experience is different. So I want to fulfill my desire based on the experience and the qualitative nature of that experience. If I get that specific type of quality, that a Diet Coke it's at a certain temperature and in a certain way and with a kind of bottle or whatever it might be, that experience I get through that object only. I get a different experience through another object. And because of that, the full fulfillment, the total fulfillment of desire is based on the individual getting the exact level of stimulation from the chosen object or circumstance in life. I know that's a mouthful, but that's what it is. You see, so so that's the whole concept of quality. That the quality of life experiences have very much to do with what we are wanting, and what we are wanting shifts sometimes quite rapidly. You see, so it's not a matter of simply kind of abstractly saying, yeah, I want the best quality experience. That's very generic. It's a matter of determining, deciding, predetermining what quality of experience we want. Because without desire, we cannot do anything. There's no motivation without desire. We won't even get up in the morning to do anything unless we have motivation. There's always motivation. But is that motivation taking us in a direction that is giving us the best quality experience? And this is not an easy thing, simply because we have so many kinds of desires for experiences that really do not take us further towards self-mastery. They disturb balance. For example, getting into arguments with people, getting into unnecessary worries and tensions and whatnot. What does all that do? It produces dullness, right? It produces dullness, it produces conflict, it produces scattering. It produces low quality energy. So the quality of energy is scattered when there's arguments and tensions and worries and negativity and all that stuff that happens in life. Scattering, there's the reduction of brain power, intellectual power, dullness. There's depletion of energy rapidly. A lot of energy gets depleted quickly when energy is activated, and it is activated through resistance, through conflict, etc. Okay, now let's look at the third point here, conservation. The principle of conservation of energy, this is in physics, by the way. We're going to use a physics analogy. In physics states that energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transformed. That's absolutely true with us all. That's exactly true with our internal power. In the context of personal energy, this principle translates into managing and optimizing how we use and replenish our energy across different dimensions. Right? So this is the point. There's only one energy that's flowing through us. But the question is, are we managing it and optimizing it? This is where conservation comes into the picture. And we've talked about this before since we started this subject last many weeks. That is to manage the activated energy, and then, because if we manage it properly, we won't be using so much of it, and then to optimize how it's being used, optimization, right? So to get the biggest bang for the buck, as that colloquial phrase would state, is the optimization of energy that has been utilized and that has been deliberately activated. And the question is it replenishing the dimensions of life, replenishing our energy, how we use and energy, have use and replenish energy across different dimensions. So to replenish means to bring back again that which has been activated, bring it back again into storage and keep it available. That is called replenishing. And that is a very, we'll talk about that in the next 2 series, but right now we can say this much, that the replenishment phenomena is where interaction in any dimension, let's just take a family dimension, for example, interaction in the family dimension for oneself is such a good quality interaction that we want more of the interaction and the energies inside are replenished. The quality of the interaction is excellent. When the quality of interaction in any dimension, recreation, going to the church, spending time with family, watching a TV show, going for a walk, anything, right? Doesn't matter. If the quality of the interaction is really good, then when we come back and rest away from that interaction, there is a natural rejuvenation because our mind is not in any kind of tension at all. So the energy has been used, but it's been used in a way that there's replenishment. There's a better growth and quality of memory in that. As we stated, that there is the development of memory. Building a bright memory structure. We cannot build a bright future because there's nothing like, you cannot never do that. Nobody ever can build a bright future. It's staying in the present, and in the present becomes part of our memory structure. So we're building a bright memory structure, and by doing that, the present experience is bright. It is clear. It is not dull. It is filled with good quality energy. It is filled with, you could say religious language would be filled with grace of God, right? Things like that. So those types of expressions can be used in the present. And as we are using them in the present, as we are growing in the present, developing in the present, every hour that goes by becomes part of our memory. And so we can look back upon that and say, that was a very nice 1 hour. That was so nice. So our reflection about the past is also of the best quality, because the more we are aware that we're building a bright past by visualizing the experiences we want in the present, right? So visualizing something for the future is simply the potentiality in the present. Like tomorrow, I'm going to do a morning presentation at 7 a.m., let's say, which I'm going to do at 7:30, let's say. I usually do that at that time, right? It's on some of the Indian scriptures and stuff like that. So I do that every day. It's been going on for many years. All right. So I'm looking forward to that. But that experience I'm going to have not tomorrow. I'm going to have the experience in the present when time catches up with the present. I cannot experience that tomorrow. I can only experience that now. I say I will experience it tomorrow, but my experience is not tomorrow. The experience is now. But the experience is now when that calendar time catches up with the psychological time. That's the way it goes. I cannot give a 7:30 a.m. presentation right now, tomorrow, because there's really nothing like tomorrow. There's only the present, and the time catches up, and we are then in the present. The experience comes in the present. So the quality of the experience that I say I want to do this tomorrow. I fantasize about it. I think about it. I can visualize about it, create a picture about it. But the reality of it comes in the present. Even my thinking about it for the future is in the present. All these points should be very clear at this point. So the quality of memory is what we're building. So we're building very, very good qualities. And we use that expression all the time. We said let's build some good memories. Sometimes people have gone through really hard time and troubles and all that. And they say, well, okay, now let's build some good memories. Let's leave all that other stuff aside. Right? So is it possible to build high quality memories each day? Yes, definitely it's possible. But we don't know how to do it. So let's look at some techniques on how to do that. Well, the first point is decide what to experience in the hour and ask oneself, is that the best quality experience I want? What do I want? Sometimes we just want to remain in our dull state. Okay. I mean, that's that. But you can say, I want to change that. I don't want that experience. I want some different experience. So the quality of experience changes when we actually engage in the experience. So for example, if I say that I want to have a chocolate ice cream, I want to have 2 scoops of chocolate ice cream. Let's say the ice cream is in my refrigerator. Take a very simple example like this. Okay? It's in my refrigerator and I want that experience and, I want that. All right, fine. But just by my thinking that I want it doesn't make that happen. I actually have to get up, go there, put the ice cream in the bowl or whatever, and then put it in my mouth. And then now the quality comes. The quality of the experience is available for me only when I put that ice cream in the mouth in the present moment. It's not available before that. Before that, there is visualization, conceptualization, wanting, desire for the experience. That's all it is. The wanting of that experience is there. But the experience happens only when that object is put inside the mouth. That's the experience. And that experience is a short-lived one at that. No doubt. Experience is short-lived. But that's the nature of all experiences. They're all short-lived experiences. We have to recognize that. So to recognize that every experience through the senses is time-bound. It has a beginning, it has an end. It doesn't exist indefinitely. Even the entire waking time that we're awake, it goes away. That time goes away and you go into the dream state. So it's not sustained. No experience is ever sustained. You go to the movie theater. Okay, we had a 2-hour movie, let's say. Then it ends. Yeah, you can enjoy it at that time with popcorn and chips and this and that, whatever you want to enjoy. Okay, fine. But then what? It has a limit. So there's a recognition that to enhance the quality of all experiences, recognize that they are all limited. And do not try to overstimulate ourselves in those experiences where we wind up creating damage to that good quality that was available. For example, if I'm sitting in a movie theater for 2 hours and then I take a 5-minute break and watch the next movie for 2 hours, and then the next movie for 2 hours, and then the next movie for 2 hours, eventually I'm oversaturating it. And I'm damaging the quality of that experience of the first movie. I'm damaging the whole thing. And eventually, what if you just do too much of it? So then there's a dislike for it. So that's the other point about quality of energy conservation, is not to generate a wave, a psychological wave of dislike for the experience that we originally liked. Take the ice cream example. Have 2 scoops of ice cream, it's good. That's good enough. But the desire is such that I want another scoop. Okay, maybe I have a third one. But then maybe I've eaten too much. I have some uneasiness in my stomach. I have damaged the quality. It happens even in conversations with close friends. You can have really close friendship with others. Keep it within a certain range. Don't overstimulate, right? So this is all about quality, and that conserves energy also. This is true with food. It is true with TV. It is true with YouTube videos. It's true with walking. It's true with exercising. It's true with intimacy. It's true with everything in life. It doesn't matter. Even religious studies and all that, you have some boundary around that. You maybe read the Bible for some time, listen to some sermons, do it for half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours. If someone is really into it, they might do it for a longer time. But eventually they have to shift into something else. You cannot just have that one experience only. That doesn't work. That's not going to be useful. And that cannot be done also. We will develop a lot of dislike for it eventually. You see, so even something that is very enjoyable, the enjoyment will diminish and turn into something really quite distasteful if it is overstimulated. You see, so you just want to get out of there at that point. Something that was so enjoyable and wonderful and fantastic, like going on vacation, it can happen. Like you go to Niagara Falls, yes, you're going to be there for a couple of days. It's fine. You really enjoy everything. Then it's done. You've seen the falls. You've walked around. But what if you have to be there for another week, 2 weeks? He said, "My God, I'm sick and tired of this place." What is this? I need to get back to my regular, I need to change to something. See, oversaturation. So this is true with food. It is true with non-alcoholic drinks, alcoholic drinks. It's true with all different substances we ingest. It's true with everything, even dance parties and all within a certain range, it's okay. Once we go outside that, there's trouble. So the point being made here, do not damage the quality of the experience. And how do we not do that? What is the practical exercise this week? Keep everything within a range. Don't overstimulate. Don't overdo it. Let people in relationship structures go in their own path. Interact with them as needed, with love, affection, care. Decide how much interaction. That's the quantity of it. Leave it alone. And then on that basis, we can continue to enhance the quality. And see, now this is what's interesting, because there's different kinds of experiences, right? If you're watching a mystery show, that's a kind of experience. But if you're reading a book, that's a different kind of experience. Every experience has its own quality. Every experience has its own quality. And because every experience has its own quality, our mind needs diversity of experience. So it might read a book, 20, 25, 30 pages, and it's okay, leave it. That's good enough. Then, you're sitting too much, get up and walk around, exercise, do other things, whatever. Right? Same thing is true working 8 hours a day somewhere. You have to mix up the whole day. You see, it's really unfortunate in human civilization. Some people have to do a repetitive job, and they have to just do the same mechanical thing again and again and again, almost like a machine. And there's like no other, there's no other variety in that. Almost like a cashier job, right? It's a mechanical job. It's very boring. It can be. You're standing in one place and just scanning, and there's nothing new in it, and different people are coming. And, how many people really love doing that kind of job? They don't, because there's no variety. There's no newness in that. You see, so anyway, that's another subject altogether. But yeah, it's possible to still to change the perspective that I'm trying to serve the society and do it well. And it's possible to change the perspective, even though it's a repetitive job, to increase the quality of the work, despite that it's continuously repetitive. Right? So jobs that are, at some point, almost every job is repetitive, but there's opportunity for creativity, then that is good. If you have a profession, that's the professional dimension, career and profession dimension in the 12 dimensions. A job or career that has a lot of creativity in it is good. And for that, you need more education. So that's the education dimension. That's the career dimension, right? So to increase the quality of life experiences, better education is needed. Jobs that facilitate or allow for creativity are ideal, you see, but not all of them are that way. It's not always like that. And most jobs are repetitive. So we have to deal with that. That's the way it goes. Whether it's somebody collecting the trash or somebody doing putting stents inside the heart, the cardiologist, it's the same thing. They're doing the same thing every single day. It's repetitive. Very few people have opportunity to be so creative that their jobs are not repetitive. But most people are living in a repetitive cycle. But to be creative in that, to do the best you can in that, to look at it in a very different way so that there isn't boredom and a sense of dislike for it, right? It's not easy. Again, we'll talk about that hopefully in more detail at some point, or I'll create like a special module on that. We may not have time to get into those kinds of questions in just our regular Tuesday presentation. You see, so I hope all this is clear. I hope this makes sense. Please contemplate on this week. What is the quality of experience in my life? That's the only real question. That's the homework assignment this week. What's the quality of my experience? Not somebody else's experience, my experience. Hour to hour, day to day. And then by the end of the day, just do a little evaluation. Open up your notebook and maybe write a paragraph. What did I do today? How did the day go today? Did it go the way I wanted it to go? Could I make it better tomorrow? Could tomorrow be even better than today? And then the goal is to be able to go to sleep. I'll just make this one point, then we'll get to the quantum quality in just a second here. the goal is to be able to go to sleep with a splendid feeling that what a fantastic day this was. That what was in my heart, I wanted to get that done. So many beautiful actions were taken, so many projects were done, this was done, that was done, and so we can restfully go to sleep with no burden on the mind. That is our goal. To be able to hit the pillow with enough exercise for the body and things like that, so there isn't, excess of energy left over. And so the health is better. Nighttime should just be rest. It's not about this madness of the dream state. It's unbelievable. I have not talked much about that, but that's another massive area of study and research. I do want to spend a 13-week block at some point on that, probably next year. It'll be in once we crack the door into self-mastery, we'll start talking about the dream state also, because that's connected to that. But right now we have to work in the waking state. That's the only control we have. We don't have any control over what happens at nighttime. But what does happen at nighttime is very much dependent on the quality of our overall mind-body connection, mind-body experience, mind-body balance is completely going to determine the quality of experience at nighttime and the quantity of energy used to generate the dream world. Amazing stuff. Something to really think about and to really manage carefully, because every day is it's a diamond opportunity for evolving into self-mastery. That is our goal. Personal transformation, the online PTP process we're going through, it is a transformative journey, week to week, day to day, hour to hour, minute to minute, second to second. It's a transformative journey to actually, in the real sense, open the door into self-mastery. And that is absolutely phenomenal. If we can get to that point by balancing and transforming ourselves with all these principles, then we are really prepared to live a highly awakened, enlightened life, and that would be called personal excellence. Self-mastery, then opening the door into that, sustained self-mastery, and then opening the door into personal excellence. And that opens the door into what, in more religious terminology, would be called enlightenment or spiritual enlightenment. You see, and when a person reaches that point, that is where we can then become instruments based on our area of interaction and the amount of interaction, the connections we have in whatever realm we are in. We can be an instrument for human upliftment. That's the third component of angel wing. That human upliftment component occurs when we have a group of people that have reached self-mastery and then have taken that into personal excellence. And all of this enhances the quality. The quality is getting better. It's just getting fantastic. Energy conservation is at the highest levels. The best amount of energy is being utilized, is revitalized. All that is going on. No energy is wasted. Energy utilization is used in such a way where it's not wasted. It is conserved, and it is then utilized in a way that produces the maximum amount of benefit for oneself, for one's family, for one's relatives, for everybody around us. Because the damage that was caused or that was present before, where the imbalances were all there, the resistances and all those things were there, that's gone. That's completely gone. So then we're ready to begin to live a masterful life. And once we begin to live that masterful life without breaking away from that, that's year number 4. We're just going to open the door into self-mastery, year number 3, just to crack it open, and then eventually open it further and further. In year number 4 is sustained self-mastery. Just like in this year, we're trying to sustain balance. So let me make a couple of comments about that also. Sustained balance, all that means is that in every activity in the 24-hour cycle, keep mind, breath, energy flow in sync. And to do that, many ways of going about it. Meditations are there, prayers are there, all these principles about energy conservation and transmutation, all these ideas apply them without resistance. So to recognize resistance, drop it. The master key in remaining balanced is to drop all internal resistance, which means dropping all internal worry, tension, fear, deliberately dropping it, recognizing it, and changing it around, pulling energy out of that. So the quality of energy is best. This is the practical application. Okay, so having said that, I want to cover the quantum quality, then we'll do our closing song, then we'll be done. So just a moment here. A lot of cool stuff. Okay, there's a lot of slides here, but let's move on here from here. So this is the quantum quality. This is the 8th quantum quality, total personal responsibility. This is very powerful. This was our first Angel Wing retreat was on this subject. And these 52 principles are going to remain the same. But we're just going to look at them in more elaborate ways as we reach personal excellence in year number 7. At least, we are aiming towards that. Total personal responsibility refers to taking ownership of one's actions, decisions, and consequences. It emphasizes accountability and the proactive approach in life. Individuals recognize that they are the architects of their own lives and must accept the outcomes of their own choices. Who doesn't know this? We know this, right? But to actually take personal responsibility, and not just personal responsibility, total personal responsibility. That's powerful. There's your quality of energy right there. The quality of energy flow is going to be the best quality the moment we decide that we want to take personal responsibility. Our actions change. We don't get stuck with situations outside. We deal with them, interact with them, move through them, and because they're just temporary. Everything is temporary. So we move through it without damaging our internal balance. That's our goal this year. The total personal responsibility is a state of mind. Let me talk about that just a little bit here. It's a beautiful state of mind. It's a state of living where we are not irresponsible. That what am I eating? What am I drinking? What am I wearing? How am I keeping my room? How am I talking to people? What am I reading? It's all the way around. What is the interaction with my family? What do I want to do? What is the religious activity I want to do? What is the more spiritual meditative activity I want to do? How can am I engaging in actions that are actually damaging to me? But they may be causing some flicker of pleasure, but they actually are not real joy. So things like that, one has to see within. That is introspective awareness, choiceless awareness, and introspective awareness, right? These are very clear ideas. Let's just go back to this just for a moment here. Okay, and there's a lot of other points here. I've created these slides here for you guys. You can take a look at that. There's, again, when we do this, there's empowerment, there's improved relationships, there's, of course, there's some challenges, but you cross through them. It builds confidence. A lot of good things come out of it, right? So with that, just a quick reminder of the vitamin M envelope to put 10% of money every single week to use, to put certain fixed amount of money every week, use 10% of it that brings benefit without abuse or misuse. That's the basic idea. And with that, we have a standing homework assignment is how is personal energy being conserved this week? And the other points that were also mentioned here about the quality of energy flow, quality of thoughts and emotions and feelings and memories and building a bright memory structure. That's a big thing to understand. We're building bright memories. That's it. There's nothing like building a bright future. It's a totally false idea. So building a very bright memory structure in the present brings us the highest quality experience in the present. The future is just a potential present. We say that I want to be very, very balanced in the future. I'll be balanced, start balancing now. It's good to think about it that I want to lose so much weight. I want to have this. We want a million things. But that's fine. That's a vision. Bring it into the present. What is to be done now? That's the only thing that makes any difference at all. All right, so having said that, let's do our closing song, and then we'll do some Q&A.